Eyup, hope you're doing alright. Hope your week is going well. Halfway through now, so the weekend is that bit closer. Homeschooling is almost over for me, and as much as I'll be glad to start getting back into a normal routine, I think I'm actually going to miss having the kids at home. Yeah, weird how parental guilt works. It's like no matter what you do, you feel bad. So yeah, anyway, this is the first build that I've done on my channel that is in a residential lot. I decided to go with a cafe or a coffee shop or tea room, whatever you want to call it. Let's just go with cafe. And I'm happy with how it turned out, to be honest. It wasn't without its struggles though, let me tell you. But before I get into that, I'll just tell you a little bit about this lot. So like I said, it's a cafe. It's built on a 30 by 20 lot. I built it in Magnolia Promenade, and it uses items from Get Together, Get to Work, Dine Out, and it has a couple of things from the Holiday Celebration Pack, which is a free pack. The lot is classed as a restaurant because I found that setting it as a cafe just didn't work out how I wanted it to. You can always change it to a cafe if you want to in the lot detail panel, but I've play tested it and customised the menu and everything, so it functions just fine as a restaurant. The menu is just cafe type food. I don't know about anywhere else. Obviously cafes aren't exclusive to England or the UK in general, but yeah, here the cafes do all manner of hot drinks, cakes, sandwiches, hot breakfast, stuff like that. So I just made the menu so it suits those type of cafes that I've been to. But I built it in Magnolia Promenade mainly because I've never built anything here before, but the build itself is quite small compared to the actual lot, so you could fit it on a smaller lot if you wanted to. So yeah, with that out of the way, let me tell you about the build process because it was a lot. So I started building the cafe a few days ago. I'm recording the voiceover on Wednesday and I started the build on Sunday. I finished it on Monday, finished the actual building of everything. I play tested it on the Tuesday and got screenshots and that. But yeah, Sunday was just the hardest day because I just couldn't get my ideas from my head into the game. I knew it was doable because it's quite a simple shape. It's essentially just a box, then a smaller box on top. But I just couldn't visualise it properly. What I imagined it to look like just wasn't translating into the game. So I probably spent about 3 hours experimenting before I decided on a shape and, before I decided on all the exterior details and stuff like that. But I got there in the end and yeah, I wanted a bar with stools, kind of like a breakfast bar, looking out the window, and yeah, it took me quite a while to figure out how to do that. But I got the idea of this floating bar from I think it's Camilla YTB on Instagram. I'll link her page in the description, so thank you to her for sharing that because that was exactly what I wanted, but I was just struggling to put it together. So it was only a couple of things that slowed the process down, but once I overcame those things it was pretty straightforward. I don't really play with running restaurants that often. I find Dine Out to be really buggy even now, a few years after it's been released, but I play tested it both as an owner and as a customer, and yeah, it all works just fine. But playtesting it as a cafe and not a restaurant was just completely nightmarish. Far too many sims, too much going on. There were routing issues. The sims were just it was just a mess. They were far too many in one little space, all talking, being rowdy, interacting with each other. They weren't really using it like a cafe. They didn't just buy the food, sit down, eat. They would get a cake and then just stand around and shout, or they'd put the cake in the pockets. They weren't actually sitting and eating it at the lot. So yeah, it just works better as a restaurant. They come in, get the food, or they get the table, get the food comes to the table, they eat it, they leave, and it just flows a lot better that way. So you'll see that I build a coffee bar initially, but by the time we get to the screenshots you'll see it's a chef station, and like I said, it performs much better that way. But like I said, you're more than welcome to change it to a cafe if you prefer. So like I said, this is my first commercial lot that I've done. I have made a restaurant before. On console, I recreated a bar and grill place that's in Manchester, and I also added like a recreational area at the top as well. And I love building that, but I've not made one since then. And yeah, that'll be on the gallery, but it's not like, I don't know if it's that good anymore. But even then, when building that was like the first time that I've ever made anything like that. I've tried to make a herbal remedies shop once by following like a speed build that was on YouTube, but I think I gave up on it because that was like back in the day when console didn't have the gallery. So if you wanted to build something that somebody else had built, like if you wanted to have it in your game, you basically had to like recreate it yourself, either by watching the video or looking at like the floor plan at the end. If they showed the floor plan, you know, where it's like screenshots from above. But yeah, I'd like to make more commercial lots because it is actually a lot of fun and something a bit different. Obviously, I'm more used to doing residential lots and I do tend to use them more in terms of my own gameplay. But yeah, I'd be open to making more. So let me know if you'd like to see more commercial builds, like shops, restaurants, anything like that. Of course, Dine Out is pretty buggy, so I mean, I'd be open to making a restaurant, but I think most of us, if you've got that pack, you kind of know that sometimes it's a bit frustrating to use. But I'd make a retail store or something like that. I might even do like a poll on Instagram or something, and I think I would even do a poll to decide on the name of whatever I build next, because this isn't the most like creative thing that I've ever come up with. I decided to call this one Two Sugars Café, basically like one of the first things that popped into my head, just like, you know, if you say tea with 2 sugars or coffee 2 sugars, that sort of thing. Not that the name needs explaining, it's not that like complex, but with me, I'm one of them, like I can come up with a name, but it just takes me like hours. Like any game where you name your character, name a town, shop, dog, anything that's like that, I'll just be sat there thinking about it for ages. Even naming my Sims takes a long time, so a lot of the times I just use like online name generators because it's just easier. If I ever play a game where you make your own character, I'll think about it days in advance, like, oh, what would I want to call them? And I think of like a little backstory to help me come up with the name and stuff, because I can't just be like, right, let's call it John. Like, I have to think about it for ages. So yeah, before I came up with the Two Sugars Cafe name, I called it Nick's Cafe because I was watching a Nick DeRemio video whilst building. So, well, I watched about 10 videos actually because I was building for that long. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure to follow me on there so you can take part in any polls that I do. I probably mention this every video, but I just want to make sure that people are aware of it. And yeah, maybe the next time I do one, your like name could be picked for whatever I build. And speaking of Instagram, yesterday I asked on my stories what people thought of the kits. If you haven't seen them yet, The Sims released a new pack type called kits, and they're basically like really small stuff packs. I talked about them a bit in my last video, and like I said then, I was just like a bit indifferent towards them. So yesterday I asked on stories what people thought about them, once The Sims had actually released their like proper promo video announcing that they were out. They cost like $4.99, and I saw a lot of people were pretty annoyed with the cost, and to be honest, I get that. For what you get, I do think that's overpriced, but when I asked people to submit their opinion in the little like question box, the feedback was mainly negative. One person even was like, they can F off in less than 99p, and I was absolutely howling at that for ages. Another person just sent like an eyebrow raise emoji, and that made me laugh as well. I feel like every video I say something negative about the game, and I do want to make it clear that it does come from a place of love. Like, I don't totally hate The Sims 4. Obviously, I really enjoy it. I love the game. But I don't know, you just look back to what we had before. I mean, I've played The Sims since I was like 5-6 years old. And then The Sims 2 was like my life for years. I played it non-stop every single day after school, during the holidays, on weekends, because it was just like the best game for me. And then when I played The Sims 3, it was the same sort of thing. So because of those games, I know what this game can be. I know that it has potential to be really great. And when you think it's the 4th instalment, initially when the game came out, there's so much that's just missing. Like, in The Sims 2, we had cars. even though we didn't really go anywhere with them. You had them on the lot, you got in them, you went to work, you could even go for a drive. Obviously Sims 3 was open world, and then Sims 4, it's like no cars, babies are objects, there's no kind of personality there, everything's run on moods, no open world, which I'm personally not too bothered about open world, but I don't know, the whole thing with the kits just kind of highlights how we get kind of like the bare minimum and stuff. I mean, like I said, I do still love The Sims 4 and I still get a lot of enjoyment out of it now, but it's been 6 years and I get that the Sims team and EA want to keep it fresh, but I just think this wasn't the best choice to do that. I love that they collaborated with CC creators for the 21st anniversary. I think the response to that overall was really positive as well. I think that's like the best idea they've had for ages. Maybe if they'd have done that with the kits, and maybe like a portion of the money would have gone to the creators, maybe it would have been better, or if they charged a bit less. Because, come on, let's be honest, $4.99 for what you get, I mean, I don't know, it might not be a lot of money to some people. Obviously, plenty of people will think, oh, well, that's not a lot. But to some people it is. It's a lot of money to spend on something that's, you know, you don't get much. So it does need to be worth it, and I just don't think that it is. Maybe if they released like 10 items with every kit, or I don't know. I mean, it's a tricky one, isn't it? I mean, I bought them all and I think they're okay, but I don't think I would have bought them all if I didn't make videos. I mean, they're nothing to get too excited about. I do like the Country Kitchen one, I really do like that one, and if you were going to buy one, I would recommend you get that. And to be honest, I've always wanted like a vacuum in the game, as mundane as that sounds. It is a life sim at the end of the day, and I do want it to simulate life. So, you know, we have vacuums in real life, so why not in The Sims? But I just think it's something they should have released with a pack rather than its own dedicated, like, mini pack as a kit. I don't know, I just think releasing that on its own is not, like, the best idea. But then in saying that, they have said that there'll be more kits in the future and that the kits won't affect, like, future projects or other pack releases. But yeah, I made a couple of things and put them on Instagram, so if you want you can check them out. Just showing like the colour swatches of the kitchen, a couple of outfits that I put together, and just kind of showcasing the vacuum, which, you know, it's nothing special, but I just wanted to get kind of my opinion out there on it. And yeah, I don't know, maybe it'll help people decide if they're worth it or not. I think what I'd like to see next from The Sims is either a farming pack or maybe something to do with babies. Which sounds a bit weird to say, but like imagine if they brought a game pack centered around babies. Like they could have maternity clothes, pushchairs or strollers, improve babies in general, you know, stop objectifying them, like literally stop objectifying them. I feel like that would be a well received pack. Maybe they could have like a career as an adoption person, or maybe have like a daycare type lot where you can own and run your own daycare, like it's a retail store. Or have it like in Get to Work where you like go into the workplace. I think that would be like really fun to play with actually, because I've seen mods like that have that. I've seen mods of like daycare centres and stuff like that where there's like loads of like toddlers running around and like kids and whatever, but then it's like you've got to include the babies, so make a dedicated pack that update it for base game, but then have these additional items as a game pack or something like that. But even like talking about it, I just think, oh, I wish that was like a reality. Just talking about stuff like that makes me want to actually play with it. So I see why a lot of people like turn to mods. And I think everyone has seen that farming mod by now. The one with like the cow in it. I've seen a few videos that people have done where they play with the mod and it does look really great. I've never been too bothered about the farming pack idea. I've always seen it on like comments and stuff like, bring us the farming pack. We want farms in The Sims 4. Like, I've never personally thought, oh yeah, that's what I want. But seeing that mod, I completely get now why like people ask for it so much, because it does look like fun to play with and there's a lot of storytelling things you can do with that. So yeah, I get why people ask for it so much. But it's just like, I don't know, like, come on, Sims team, like, do farms or do a daycare or do something that people ask for. Because like I've mentioned before, I've seen people actually say whenever they release a pack, like, who asked for this? And I guess it's true, because you look at the comments and everybody's like asking for these things and you never see like, can you please bring out a dedicated pack just for vacuum cleaners, please? Like, nobody asked for that. Oh my god, as well, I can't believe like I forgot to mention this. I think I knew about it in my last video, but I just completely overlooked it. And this is how you know like how starved the Sims community is for like basic stuff. Bunk beds are coming to the game, and I'm really excited for that. The modding community has obviously been making bunk beds for ages, and finally the Sims team have announced that they're actually adding them to the game. I think they said they're coming in like late March, so yeah, we still have a little bit of a wait, but yeah, that's what we like to see, like answer what people want or give people what they want. You know, I've seen loads of people ask for bunk beds and stuff, so yeah, it's not all bad, is it? Actually, I just thought as well, what if they're bringing them out as a kit and it's not a free update? Alright, let's not make assumptions. Let's not get too excited then. So yeah, back to the build. Enough rambling on about upcoming stuff and announcements. So I've pretty much finished the interior. I do go back and change the cafe bar to a chef station, like I said. But I do all that off camera. And also did like the bathroom off camera like I usually do. Just because that's pretty basic and nothing like special really. I don't know if I mentioned as well, I don't think I did. I used a couple of hanging plants from Nifty Knitting. It's not essential that you have that pack, but I just want to add that I do use those hanging plants that come with that. I did the upstairs office too. I think even if it's not that much of a usable space for your Sims, in terms of like going to the restaurant and using it, I wanted to add an office just because I feel like those types of cafes usually do have an upstairs flat or an office or something like that, so I decided to add that there as well. I was going to add like a cot bed as well, because I thought even though you can't actually live on the lot, I imagine in real life you might have a small bed or a fold up bed or something like that. Say if it was your business and you were working late, or if it was a new business and you were putting tons of effort in and stuff like that, or a family run business, maybe you'd stay over. But if you wanted to, you could always add more dining tables up here instead if you didn't want an office. But like I said earlier, I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out. It's always fun to try something new, even though it's not like the most ambitious build ever. I think it turned out great and I'm happy with how it looks. It's functional and something that I'd actually use in my game. So yeah, I especially like the outdoor dining area that I'm about to build. I wanted to do like a gazebo type thing with hanging lights and, you know, get it to look really cosy at night time. So I'm glad that I was able to achieve that whilst building this as well. It made me really want to go out and eat again, like go to a cafe or go to a restaurant or something like that. It's both mine and my partner's birthday this month, and normally like we'd do something kind of in between our birthdays because his is like at the beginning and mine's more like near the end. So that's what we'd normally do, but obviously can't really do that. There is restrictions lifting in the UK, but I think I'll probably just stay at home just because I just feel more comfortable doing that. But yeah, it'll be my second birthday in lockdown, so I haven't really done anything for a while, which is totally fine for me. I don't always enjoy going out. I'd rather just stay home, get a takeaway, you know, put a film on, play games, whatever, just do what I usually do. But especially now I'd rather stay home and just keep people safe rather than going out to celebrate. But that's just me, that's just my personal preference. But just building this made me like miss being in other buildings, like not even the act of going out, just being in another place that isn't my house. Like I said, some restrictions are lifting a little bit, so like schools are opening back up and some businesses will be opening, which will be nice for a lot of people to kind of get back into a better routine or whatever. But like I said, I'll probably just stay home as much as possible. I struggle with wearing face masks and that anyway, with like the sensory issues that I have. And even though I am exempt because of that, and being autistic and stuff, I'd still rather not just put people at risk. Do you know what I mean? I mean, whatever your opinions are on masks, I just personally go off what the government say for now or what the health experts say. So whether or not, you know, you agree with them or whatever, wherever the rules are in place, like wearing them in shops and stuff, I'd rather just avoid the shop because I want to avoid wearing the mask. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's, even though I know that I can actually go in because I'm exempt, I'd just rather not. So yeah, going out to eat, I'd probably have to wear a mask, or travelling, I'd have to wear a mask on the transport and stuff. But yeah, I'd rather just stay home. I will say this though, if you're like me and you wear glasses, and your glasses fog up when you wear a mask, you absolutely need to get an anti-fog cloth. I got some new glasses a few weeks ago, maybe about a month ago now actually, and I got a free anti-fog cloth with, God, it's really hard to say that, I don't know why, anti-fog cloth. Yeah, I got one of those with my glasses and used it for the first time like last week when I went on a walk and that, and I didn't think it would make much of a difference. I just thought, whatever, like it's not a big deal. Obviously I got mine free, but if you can get hold of one and you wear glasses, I'd definitely recommend it. Just total like game changer. Usually I can't wear my mask for very long, especially like with it being cold and stuff, without my glasses fogging up. But yeah, that was just best thing ever. But that's another thing that I struggle with mask wearing and the sensory issues. Not being able to see can be like super overwhelming, and then in combination with feeling like the cloth of the mask on my face, yeah, it can just be a lot. Anyway, enough like mask talk. I'm going to wrap up the video now. If you'd like to download this build, my gallery ID is SimTouch. As always, that's in the description along with my Instagram and any other information that you might want to know. Let me know what you think of the cafe. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later. Bye!